They were wearing T-shirts that said, "No war, no ice, free Palestine."
Makes sense.
Completely shut everything down for about an hour.
That's what
Police
they do.
had to come in. They arrested some of them. This is New York. Nothing will probably happen to them.
Not at all. This is not about complex law here, guys. Like, this is what happens when a basic question gets asked.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Coleman, have you ever been to Manhattan?
Manhattan, Kansas?
No, sir, Manhattan, New York.
Bro, really?
I have not.
Okay. Are you familiar with, maybe you've seen it in the movie, 3rd Avenue, Midtown?
Only by reputation.
Okay. Well, it's a major east or north-south traffic corridor. Very busy, a lot of traffic. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, but about 200 protesters in New York sat down in the middle of 3rd Avenue. Completely blocked traffic. They were wearing T-shirts that said, "No war, no ice, free Palestine."
Makes sense.
Completely shut everything down for about an hour.
That's what they
Police
do.
had to come in. They arrested some of them. This is New York. Nothing will probably happen to them.
Not at all.
But the point is, it blocked traffic severely. Let's suppose a medical transportation service was trying to get a heart to a transplant patient at a hospital nearby, and obviously the traffic jam delayed him, and the patient died. You with me?
Hypothetical, guys.
Yes, Senator.
All right, does the patient's family have a cause of action against the protesters or the leader of the protest?
In any hypothetical, I would hesitate to completely prejudge the situation without knowing all of the facts.
Come on, counselor. Give me your legal opinion. This is a first year law student question.
I believe they would, more than likely. I think that would be a matter.
What would be the issues that would arise? I just want to understand how you think.
Sure. I think that would be.
If you're defending the leader of the protest, what's the first thing you're going to say?
If I'm defending the leader of the protest.
Yeah.
I would probably argue about causation and foreseeability. I mean, that would be really a state law negligence.
What do you mean causation?
Well,
Guys.
for any negligence claim, one of the elements is you have a.
Did you know that it was going to happen?
Somebody.
Guys, this is why people don't like lawyers. You're defending a person that decided, hypothetically, obviously here, you're defending a person that decided to engage in a protest that blocked traffic, and someone lost their existence while being stuck in the traffic that you're blocking. I don't care, bro. Jail.
Did you breach that duty? Did you cause them an injury? And part of the duty causation calculus is how foreseeable that injury
Okay.
was.
What's the difference between legal causation and proximate cause?
So
Cause in fact and proximate cause.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
here
So
we go.
cause in fact is the specific cause of death or injury rather. And in this case, it would probably be whatever heart ailment this poor person that you've described had would probably be the cause in fact of his death.
But bro, if your client wasn't sitting in the middle of the street blocking the traffic, the person would have most likely gotten to the hospital in time. Or am I wrong?
But proximate cause does not always have to be the cause in fact, and there can be multiple causes. So a proximate cause is, but for this thing happening, this injury may not have occurred.
Okay.
And
I got it. Good. Judge Powell, you said you're a textualist.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
It means you follow the words of the text of the statute.
Okay.
Okay.
What if the text of the statute's not clear? What do you do?
Well, one of the approaches that I do use is I want to look at the language in context of the statute as a whole and try to harmonize the language. I may go to dictionaries to help me find definitions of words.
Well, how ambiguous does the statute have to be before you're going to look to secondary sources?
Well, ambiguity means the language is subject to two or more interpretations. And so if there's
Reasonable
language.
interpretation.
Correct.
Well, I mean, does the does it have to be 50% ambiguous or 52% or 51%?
Well, I'm not sure how to apply the 51. To me, ambiguity
That's what
is
I'm asking you, is how you apply it.
Well, ambiguity means that the words that are used are susceptible to two or more different definitions. That's so I don't know whether that's 50%.
Why do you go, I'm not suggesting you're wrong, but why do you go through that exercise? Why do you want to spend hours agonizing and debating how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pen to try to decide whether it's ambiguous? Why don't you just go look at the statute and also go to the secondary sources?
Oh, he's
Well,
good.
that's what I do, Senator.
But
I
you
mean,
only go if it's ambiguous.
Well, because the plain words of the words, you know, the plain meaning of the words in front of you are what guide you, and you apply the common
I
understanding
guess what
of the
I'm
words.
asking you is, Your Honor, why? Don't you want to look to the problem that the legislature was trying to solve? Why do you want to be a slave to the plain words that reasonable people can disagree over? Why don't you just start with, I've got a statute, let me see what problem the legislature was trying to solve in interpreting
Creating
this
it.
statute.
I have done that, Senator, and I don't disagree with that approach. But
But you
Okay.
said you were a textualist. You don't even get to that approach unless
course.
the words are ambiguous.
correct, I agree with that.
I
And
know. So which is it?
well, you look at
Are you always a slave to the words and the debate about plain meaning, or do you step back and go plain meaning or not? I want to look at the problem the legislature was trying to solve. Which is it?
Well, Senator, the best way to understand what the legislature
Yeah, but
intended.
first, our chairman's a great guy. He's like awesome. He's going to cut me off anyway. Tell me which one you use.
Well, Senator, as I'm trying to say, when you're trying to discern the legislative intent, you first look at the words the legislature itself used, and
Yeah,
you apply
okay.
the
And let's
common,
suppose
ordinary
they're
meaning.
plain. They're plain to you.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's suppose the words are clear.
Okay, then
Why you would stop there, right?
you apply the words, yes.
Okay. Why? Why don't you go, well, I want to get this right. So let me adopt a belt and suspenders approach, even though the words are plain. Let me delve into the legislative history and try to understand what problem the legislature is trying to solve. Why not do that?
Because the language tells you what it is they're trying to
Where's it
do and what
written?
it is they
You
want to
can't
solve.
go further than the language of the statute.
Well, again, Senator, if there's some doubt, when you look at the
Even if
words in
there's no doubt.
context,
Not a doubt in your mind.
that's why because you're carrying out the will of the people. It's the will of the people that's
So
expressed in the pages.
you're trying to apply a statute passed by the legislature.
Correct.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Okay. Can I ask one more? Tell me how to say your name. Your last name, sir?
It's Mativi, Senator.
Mr. Mativi. I'm
Mativi.
17 and I go to work for McDonald's. I go to apply for a job and I'm wearing a burqa.
Okay.
And the McDonald's manager says, I really want to hire you, but we don't allow religious symbols at my restaurant or at our restaurants. What does the law say about that?
The law prohibits the application of a religious test applied by the government, right, not by private employers. So I would say that's the basis
Oh,
of.
you sure about that?
Well, it depends on whether, I mean, there's other factors, right?
Let me just ask you, can McDonald's say, we have a policy against religious symbols and you can't wear a burqa? Who's going to win?
The court of public
McDonald's
opinion.
or the person wearing the burqa?
Honestly, Senator, I'm not sure who would win in that situation.
Bro, come
I
on.
need to know more
I
facts.
appreciate your honesty. Thank you. Thanks for your indulgence.
Bro, the court of public opinion is going to dictate that if you have anything to say about what someone else is basically doing, and specifically if they do not adhere or, I don't know, represent the overwhelming majority in the United States of America, then how dare you say this thing here, guys?
Mr. Chairman.
Anything for you, Senator.
I especially appreciated your commentary. I listened carefully, Eric, and you're right about courage. It's easy to play to the crowds,
That's what they're doing.
but when the going gets tough and you got to follow the law, and it's not going to be popular, that's what the rule of law is all about.
Listen, I absolutely love the idea of like asking hypotheticals to people that are in legislation. They're in like the judicial type of like aspect of our society, at least, because a lot of the times they are textualists. Let's just say this here, which would make all the sense in the world, but you have to sometimes at least look at things for what they are. Because I think the faster you can do that, the more just people will actually think justice is, if that makes any sense here. Because sometimes things are not as black and white as the paper dictated, specifically a piece of paper that was written hundreds of years ago at times. Okay? You have to look at things through a contextual lens occasionally. If you are protesting in the middle of the street and someone loses their existence because you were protesting in the middle of the street, I'm sorry, arrest everyone. All right. First of all, why are you in the street? Get out of the street. Okay. Number one here, like the street is not for you, it's for cars. Okay. If something happens to you, I blame you. Why are you in the street? Okay. That's kind of what's happening in that instance there. If you sit down in the middle of the highway and you get splattered, okay, I'm sorry, but what am I supposed to say to that, bro? You go bungee jumping and you're confused that you jumped off a cliff. Got it. Right. Or ledge. Okay. Guys, you went swimming and got wet and you're angry. Oh. Okay. Guys. All right. But if you are the cause specifically of someone losing their existence, you should definitely be held accountable for that, kind of regardless. Now, the idea of the religious test here, that is interesting. Okay. Because the court of public opinion is going to dictate that. Again, if the person that is being affected is not a part of the majority, then that person matters more. That's kind of the court of public opinion, right? Kind of no matter if they're right or wrong in the context of this here, you have to stand up for them, or ethically, morally, you are like an inappropriate human, guys, right? And I think that's where things need to kind of get corrected, but who am I? I'm a random guy on the internet, guys. This one right here was amazing. Listen, Senator Kennedy is consistently like delivering some of the most common sense, coherent arguments to people that are absolutely illogical, purely emotion first, have no real ability to actually critically think. He is so good at this. Okay. Please send me more. I love learning from this guy. But in the meantime, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe.